I remember going through those photos with my birth father Misha, reflecting on both of our lives.
Родители. Папа, мама.
Я помню твою маму.
Да.
Твоя мама. Да.
Ну, это я маленький тут. Янг.
Твоя папа.
Да.
Да.
Misha, of course, knew nothing about me until I reached out to him. And so, when I came into his life, I knew that things were going to change very quickly. All in a good way.
Еще раз большое спасибо тебе, твоим родителям. Все прекрасно, все замечательно. Поэтому все, давай, все хорошо.
Спасибо. Я буду сказал мои родители, что ты сказал сейчас. Да. Спасибо.
Да.
Я очень благодарен и спасибо большое.
His family suddenly carried this New Zealand culture, and they knew that this place here is my home, while Russia is my bloodline. Now with my sister Sonia, this is where, when reaching out to my birth father, I had no idea I had a sister. Though her mother is different to mine, I still consider her my sister, as well as my brother Arton. These are my siblings through blood. While I was raised with my brother Andre, who also came from the same orphanage as me, I also consider him, of course, my brother. All of them carry a relationship with me as my siblings, which is so important. And so to this day, as Sonia was only about 6 months old when I first met her, she has grown up knowing that she has a brother here in New Zealand. And just recently she celebrated her birthday. And just like brother and sisters do, I wished her a happy birthday. While recently I celebrated my 33rd birthday, she also sent me a message early in the morning. In fact, she was one of the first people to send me a birthday message. And then after that, my mum and dad gave me a call first thing that morning, and then Misha sent a message through that night as well, wishing me a happy birthday. So waking up that morning, all sorts of messages came through. It was awesome. But it's really nice to grow that connection and see it grow with my sister Sonia. When I was in St. Petersburg several years back, not only did I sit down and go through those photos with Misha, but I also grew that bond with my sister. Taking her to school, and also during the time as it turned into school holidays, I was the bigger brother looking after her and her cousins, while Misha and his wife Liana were busy at work. My parents here in New Zealand have been watching the journey of my sister Sonia growing up more and more over the years. And Misha has said that with her learning English, it's so important because it's part of her background now, with her New Zealand side as well as her own Russian side. And Misha has always emphasized this and said this is just so important for us in the family.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. And
for Sonia to learn English is so vital and important, as well as me with the Russian that I've learned to speak to my birth father and his family on video calls, as well as Tatiana as well, which has been awesome to be able to do that without an interpreter, which really means the world to me. I'm not perfect, and it's going to take a while until I'm 100% fluent in my lifetime, but having that basic conversation has been a goal of mine, and I'm so happy that I've been able to achieve that now. But with so much more of that to go, of course. Now with my family tree and building those connections with my siblings over in Russia, it has grown so much more, because there's so many more links that I'm still yet to trace and yet to follow. With my links in Russia, my links in Ukraine, and links in Kazakhstan, I know it's going to take time to really get to a point where I'm completely satisfied with my family tree. I know that with my story, it has those nice moments, but there's also been those difficult pieces as well. In particular with my birth mother Tatiana, though of course I talk to my birth mother Tatiana more often now than what I used to. But it's been a bit of a roller coaster of emotions, really up and down over the years of that connection with her. And I completely understand, because I always put myself in her shoes, because with her, being in an orphanage all throughout her childhood, I mean, she was never adopted out. She went straight into work after leaving the orphanage. I know that it hasn't always been easy, and I know it's been a difficult upbringing for her, and she doesn't know any other different as well. So I always put myself in those shoes, absolutely. And Misha understands this because his mother, she too was in an orphanage throughout her childhood. Misha has always said, although that he was upset about not knowing about me, he believes that Tatiana made the right decision, and I believe that too. I believe that she absolutely did. At the end of the day, these connections are all part of my story. Even if some get difficult, I know that you can never put a timeline on it. Every message, every visit, every conversation, it's all part of something bigger. And to this day, it's still growing. Now coming up soon, I'll be filming the next An Adoption Story episode as part of my series right here on my YouTube channel. And this next story is going to be a very personal story, where I sit down with my mum and dad and hear their side of the story with the adoption process that took place all those years ago within our family. I know that this story is going to be very special for me, and I really can't wait to share that with all of you. And later after this, I will finally be sharing my Kazakhstan Connection documentary. That documentary about the search for my biological grandmother. My partner Justine, who's done an incredible job in the story, can't wait to get it finally out there. There is still a few more tweaks to do with the story, but I thank all of you for your patience on this. Thank you all so much. So until next time, до свидания. Из Новой Зеландии. И спасибо большое. Пока.
Я вообще всегда благодарен твоим родителям, потому что это было ну, что-то невероятное, конечно, так все получилось. Так случилось, да, бесценно, поэтому это, ну, мне просто не описать словами, насколько я им благодарен, поэтому, ну и тебе, соответственно, потому что ты все это сделал, ты все это нашел, меня нашел, маму Таню нашел, поэтому это все очень здорово. Я надеюсь, что ты об этом не пожалел.
Это моя жизнь.
Да.
Да, спасибо.
Все, спасибо.